If you make $50,000 a year, you could save $100,000 faster than you think. Most people look at a six-figure bank account and assume it requires a high-level corporate salary, a lucky break in the stock market, or a massive inheritance. You don't need a six-figure salary. You don't need to gamble on crypto. You don't need to live an extreme life of total deprivation. I'm going to show you a simple 4-phase savings blueprint almost anyone can follow to reach this milestone. Phase 3 is where most people quit, and that is exactly why they never hit six figures. But if you can push through that specific barrier, the rest becomes almost automatic. The reason $100,000 feels impossible is largely due to psychological barriers. We see $100,000 as a massive, immovable mountain. It's a big round number that triggers a sense of overwhelm in our brains. When we compare our current balance to that goal, the gap looks so wide that our natural instinct is to give up before we even start. This is the social comparison trap. We see people online living lifestyles they can't afford, and we assume that because we aren't there, we are failing. But let's reframe the math to make it feel achievable. $100,000 is simply $8,333 a month for 12 months. If that still feels too high, it's $1,923 a month for 52 months. If you want a more sustainable pace, it is $833 a month for 10 years. And if you stretch it to 15 years, that's just $556 a month, about $128 a week, or roughly $18 a day. When you break a giant goal down into smaller, bite-sized pieces, the mountain becomes a staircase. $100,000 isn't a money problem, it is a system problem. If you don't have the money yet, you simply haven't built the right system to capture it. Let's build that system now. Phase 1 of the savings blueprint is called stabilize. This is the foundation stage where we remove the chaos from your finances before we focus on growth. You cannot build a skyscraper on a swamp. The first enemy we have to kill is lifestyle creep. This is that sneaky habit where every time you get a raise or a bonus, your expenses rise to meet your new income. If you made $40,000 last year and $50,000 this year, but you still have nothing in the bank, you are suffering from lifestyle creep. To stabilize, you need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. This isn't your investment money, this is your sleep well at night money. It protects you from car repairs, medical bills, or sudden job loss so that you never have to dip into your actual savings. Next, you must kill high interest debt. Anything with an interest rate above 7% is a financial emergency because it grows faster than your savings ever will. Finally, track your spending for exactly 30 days. Don't judge yourself, just record every single cent. Most people skip this phase because it's boring and unglamorous. That is exactly why they stay broke. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Once you are stable, we move to phase 2. Create your $1,000 gap. This is where the blueprint becomes tactical. The savings gap is the mathematical difference between what you earn and what you spend. If you earn $4,000 a month and spend $3,500, your gap is $500. To hit $100,000 in a reasonable time frame, we want to target a gap of at least $500 to $1,000 per month. There are 3 ways to widen this gap. First, cut invisible expenses. These are the subscriptions you don't use, the insurance premiums you haven't negotiated in years, and the convenience fees you pay without thinking. Second, you must increase your income. This doesn't mean working more hours at a job you hate. It means developing a side skill, taking on freelance projects, or positioning yourself for a promotion. Third, optimize your fixed costs. Housing and transportation are the 2 biggest wealth killers. If you can save $200 a month on a car payment or move to a slightly more affordable area, that money goes straight into your $100,000 goal. Most people focus only on cutting expenses, like skipping lattes. That is mistake number 1. You can only cut your spending so far, but your income potential is technically uncapped. Phase 3 is automation engine, making or breaking stage. Most fail here because they employ willpower. Willpower unlimited. Choosing to save money every paycheck will lead to a poor day, a tough week, or a moment of weakness when you will squander it. Automate your savings soon following payday to avoid this. Employ pay yourself first. Set up a recurring transfer to send 20% of your salary to a savings or investing account before you see it. Unless the money is in your principal spending account, your brain doesn't register it as available funds. Living on what's left will naturally change your lifestyle. Saving becomes a background procedure after this automation. The wealthy design technologies that function while they sleep to stay wealthy. Now we enter phase 4, the acceleration multiplier. This is the exciting part where you start to see the fruit of your labor. Saving the first $1,000 $10,000 is about discipline. Saving the first $10,000 is about momentum. Once you hit that $10,000 mark, something shifts in your mind. You realize the system works. Once you hit $25,000, your confidence spikes because you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You are officially in the top percentage of savers. Once you hit $50,000, compounding begins to accelerate. If you are investing your savings in a total market index fund, your money starts making money. At this stage, a 7% return on $50,000 is $3,500 a year. That is almost $300 a month that you didn't have to work for. This is why the first $100,000 is the hardest. You are doing all the heavy lifting, but as you get closer to the goal, the interest and growth start doing more of the work for you. At $100,000, your money starts working harder than you do. Let's look at 3 realistic timeline scenarios to see how this savings blueprint applies to your life. Path A is for the consistent saver. If you save $500 a month and achieve a standard market return, you will reach $100,000 in about 14 to 16 years. This path requires the least amount of lifestyle change, but the most amount of patience. Path B is for the motivated saver. If you can find a way to save $1,000 a month by increasing your income and lowering your costs, you cut that time down to 7 or 8 years. Path C is for the aggressive saver. If you decide to live well below your means and save $2,000 a month, you could hit the 6-figure mark in just 4 to 5 years. The beauty of this blueprint is that it isn't about speed, it's about inevitability. Even if you start slow, as long as you don't stop, the math guarantees you will arrive at the destination. There are traps though. These mistakes reset people to zero when they start winning. The first is lifestyle inflation. You may feel rich at $20,000 or $30,000. You may want a premium automobile or bigger residence. This traps. The automobile depreciates and steals momentum. The second mistake is investing before an emergency fund. If the market falls and you need cash, you'll have to sell at a loss, ruining compounding. Third mistake, emotional spending after burnout. Shopping is a common reward for hard work, but it holds us in the job we want to leave. Remember, $100,000 disappears quickly. Taking out a high-interest loan or making an uninformed investment wipes it out. What changes at $100,000? It goes beyond screen numbers. The emotional payoff is huge. Most people never have your financial breathing room. Knowing that a checkbook can manage most emergencies reduces stress. Your risk tolerance rises. You may take bigger career risks, establish a business, or invest in previously unattainable prospects due of your massive safety net. Identity changes too. Instead of being a spender looking for the next thing to buy, you become an owner looking for the next asset. You know money is a weapon for freedom, not just accumulation. Let's repeat the formula for clarity. Keep your foundation stable, create a $1,000 savings gap, automate your engine, and let compounding accelerate. Avoid lifestyle inflation traps to ensure progress. The $100,000 savings plan is straightforward. Most people won't reach this objective since they won't commit long enough to see effects. No need to be special. You don't require genius IQ, just be consistent. Every dollar you save now can lead to freedom. Your current savings goal, are you approaching $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000? If you want to make 6 digits, comment 100K underneath. The climb isn't always easy, but the view is worth it. Start today, stay the course, and watch your life change soon with 6 figures.